Hello and welcome to Jamo Games channel. Today we present to you best upcoming PS5 games 2022 and beyond. Please click like button and subscribe for more videos. So let's begin. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. Currently available on PC via Steam Early Access, Vampire the Masquerade is a free-to-play battle royale that will soon make its way to PS5. In it, players take on the role of powerful vampires with supernatural abilities and weapons forced to duke it out with their fellow bloodsuckers. The game features several clans to swear allegiance to, each with their own unique playstyles and motivations for charging into battle. On PS5, Bloodhunt will hit steady 60 FPS performance and fully utilize the DualSense wireless controller's adaptive triggers to ensure every weapon fires differently. Saints Row. Set in the American Southwest, Saints Row is a remake of the original 2006 open-world game developed by Volition and published by Deep Silver. In it, players navigate the crime-ridden streets of Santo Ileso, a city under control of three criminal gangs, Los Panteros, the Idols, and Marshall Defense Industries. Taking on the role of boss, players will recruit a team of dissatisfied for-hire criminals to take on each gang and seize their power. The remake is anticipated to steer away from the traditionally wacky tone of the Saints Row series to strike a better balance between comedy and seriousness. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection. Any PS5 owners that didn't get a chance to play Uncharted 4 or the Lost Legacy last generation will have another opportunity with the upcoming Legacy of Thieves Collection. This brand new remastered bundle includes updated versions of both games with a host of graphical, audio, and performance improvements thanks to the PS5's hardware. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End sees Nathan Drake venturing into the Madagascar jungle in search of a long-lost treasure, while Lost Legacy chronicles the adventures of Chloe and Nadine as they explore India's Western Ghats looking for the golden tusk of Ganesh. If you never got to play these games the first time around, or perhaps want to revisit two fantastic PlayStation exclusives, you can pick up Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection in early 2022. God of War Ragnarok. God of War was a tremendous victory for Sony, receiving 10 out of 10 reviews from fans and critics as well as taking home the trophy for GOTY at the Game Awards 2018. It seems only logical at this point for Sony Santa Monica to start brainstorming a sequel to add to the PS5's already lengthy list of exclusives. The studio appears to agree as they've started posting job listings for positions across numerous teams, with one listing going as far as to directly mention 2018's God of War. If you were one of many players who returned to Kratos' cabin after completing the main story, then you remember the colossal cliffhanger that was included to leave players craving more God of War. Hogwarts Legacy. Outside of movie tie-ins and the occasional mobile release, we haven't really seen many games explore the magical world of Harry Potter. That's set to change when Avalanche and Warner Bros. Upcoming open-world action RPG Hogwarts Legacy releases next year. Set during the late 1800s, it casts players as a new student at Hogwarts tasked with choosing their house and attending classes while exploring the school's mysterious grounds. Over time, they'll learn to cast different spells, brew potions, tame magical beasts, and battle enemies while navigating a morality system based on their actions. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. From Rocksteady Studios, creators of the beloved Batman, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is an upcoming action-adventure game set in the DC Comics mythos. It takes place in an open world based on Metropolis and sees players controlling four playable characters that make up the Suicide Squad: Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and King Shark. The story centers on the four-man wrecking crew as they attempt to defeat Brainiac after he invades Earth and brainwashes the Justice League. Designed with co-op in mind, Suicide Squad will let players team up with friends throughout the story or play solo, switching between characters and relying on AI teammates. Star Ocean: The Divine Force. Making its debut during PlayStation's October 2021 State of Play, Star Ocean: The Divine Force is an upcoming action RPG from Square Enix and Tri-Ace. It takes place in the Star Ocean universe, which got its start in 1996 and is comprised of 5 mainline games, 1 spin-off, and 1 mobile title. In it, players follow 2 heroes whose stories span the stars and known galaxies, putting them in contact with a rich lineup of secondary characters that can be controlled directly. Throughout the story, you'll recruit ally characters to join the fight using free-flowing traversal and combat systems that benefit from the PS5's DualSense controller. Deathverse: Let It Die. Deathverse: Let It Die is an upcoming multiplayer survival action game that acts as a continuation of Super Trick Games' 2016 title Let It Die. In it, players are thrust into battle as part of a mysterious survival TV reality show dubbed Death Jamboree. Set in a virtual world known as the Deathverse, it sees players competing for survival against other contestants using a shape-shifting robotic device called Wilson. The Wilson can transform into various weapons and gadgets including a drone, protective shield, and modified stun gun. Project Eve. Reminiscent of stylish action games like Bayonetta and Devil May Cry, Project Eve is an upcoming game about a survivor who must fight unknown creatures on a post-apocalyptic Earth. Combat is modeled after combo-heavy action games and sees Eve taking down enemies using a combination of spectacular attacks, parries, and dodge maneuvers with her blade in tow. The game will also focus on platforming sections that force Eve to master the terrain by scaling walls, sliding tactically around enemies, swinging from ropes, and much more. Project Ever will take advantage of the PS5's power with cutting-edge graphics and gameplay amplified by the DualSense controller's built-in haptic feedback. Tchia. Tchia is an upcoming open-world adventure game in which you play as a young girl exploring a physics-driven sandbox. The game offers tropical locations to discover, characters to get to know, and hidden surprises around every corner. Additionally, Tchia has a special ability that lets her magically transform into 30+ different animals as well as 100+ objects. This is reflected in both the story and gameplay, with Tchia using her powers to help her friends explore the island and escape danger. Endless Dungeon. Although Amplitude is best known for a string of dedicated strategy games released under the Endless moniker, the studio's next project will expand into real-time action. In Endless Dungeon, players take on the role of shipwrecked heroes forced to fight their way through abandoned space stations while protecting a sacred crystal from monsters. Each character has a specialized kit of abilities, weapons, and tactics that can be combined with others to create new and exciting synergies. It's a delicious blend of MOBA, strategy, twin-stick shooter, and tower defense that has us looking forward to playing Endless Dungeon on PS5. Unknown 9 Awakening. Unknown 9 Awakening is an upcoming game by Reflector Ent that adapts the company's larger Unknown 9 story world to interactive mediums. While details are far and few at the moment, the game is touted as a third-person narrative-driven action-adventure title. The story centers on a young woman named Haruna as she unlocks mysterious powers within herself before being thrust into an alternate dimension known as the Fold. Considering this is Reflector's first foray into video games, it'll be interesting to see how they approach the video game format and which, if any, new gameplay concepts are explored. The Callisto Protocol. Clearly inspired by survival horror classics like System Shock and Dead Space, the Callisto Protocol is an upcoming game from Striking Distance Studios. In it, players are tasked with escaping the maximum security Black Iron prison while uncovering a host of terrifying secrets. The game looks to blend horror, action, and immersive storytelling while also setting a new bar for interactive horror as a whole. We've also learned that it takes place in the same universe as PUBG, for reasons unclear. Skate 4. It's still so mind-boggling to think that fans were able to will Skate 4 into existence by bombarding EA forums for years requesting a new entry in the previously dormant franchise. Although technically more of a reboot than a sequel, Skate 4 is still early in its development, so there's no telling what shape it will end up taking over time. Based on previous entries in the series, we anticipate an updated version of the original's tactile control scheme along with a handful of new features. For example, most modern skateboarding games include options for capturing cool gameplay moments, such as built-in photo modes and clip editors. The Lord of the Rings Gollum. In 2019, German developer Daedalic Entertainment announced they were working on a licensed game set within the Lord of the Rings universe for next-gen gaming consoles. The new title is depicted as an action-adventure game that intends to tell Gollum's story from a perspective never seen before in any storytelling medium, all the while staying true and faithful to the legendary books of J.R.R. Tolkien. Best described as a cinematic stealth adventure, Lord of the Rings Gollum will have you traversing faithfully detailed environments, many of which have never appeared in a Lord of the Rings video game. With the success of other Lord of the Rings spin-offs such as Shadow of Mordor and its subsequent sequel Shadow of War, it's clear that there's an audience of players who would jump at the chance to explore Middle-earth from a new point of view. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Remake. The original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is fondly remembered as one of the most groundbreaking video game releases for its incredible scope, immersive gameplay, and epic narrative. The ability to travel to multiple planets, meeting a wide range of diverse characters and encountering larger-than-life foes made for an incredible experience that wasn't as common back then as it is today. With an upcoming remake in the pipeline by Aspyr Media, Lucasfilm Games, and Sony Interactive Entertainment, we can't wait to see how the classic holds up after all this time. Of course, players can expect an abundance of technical improvements to be included, seeing as KOTOR Remake is being rebuilt from the ground up using the latest tech available. Marvel's Wolverine. Having struck gold with Marvel's Spider-Man and its 2020 follow-up Miles Morales, Insomniac has been given the task of adapting another Marvel character, Wolverine. Billed as a standalone experience, Marvel's Wolverine will feature an emotionally charged narrative complemented by cutting-edge gameplay that will push the PS5 to its limits. While there have been several Wolverine-related games throughout the years, it'll be interesting to see Insomniac's take on the brooding, adamantium-infused hero. For now, we'll just have to hold our breath and wait until further details are revealed at a later date. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Speaking of upcoming superhero releases, Insomniac is also hard at work on a direct sequel to 2018's Marvel's Spider-Man that will come exclusively to PS5. Little is currently known regarding the story or new gameplay elements, but we can confirm that both Peter Parker and Miles Morales will be reprising their roles as Spider-Man, or is it Spider-Men? Additionally, Kraven the Hunter, Venom, and likely a host of other recognizable Marvel villains will be making an appearance. Much like the original PS4 exclusive, we anticipate Spider-Man 2 will fully utilize the PS5 hardware to allow for faster load times, smoother performance, more detailed environments. Final Fantasy XVI. Currently in development exclusively for PS5, Final Fantasy XVI will be the 16th mainline entry in the extensive RPG franchise. It's being produced by Naoki Yoshida and directed by Hiroshi Takai, and is set in the land of Ballistia, a continent with 6 factions on the verge of war due to a spreading malady called the Blight. Players will take on the role of a hero named Clive as he attempts to rid Ballistia of the Blight and defeat summoned monsters called Icons. Gameplay primarily revolves around real-time combat in which Clive uses a combination of sword attacks of various magical abilities. Pragmata. One of the most mysterious games expected to drop in 2022, Pragmata is an all-new action-adventure title developed and published by Capcom. The game depicts a near-future dystopian world in which humans can more easily travel to the moon, and upon doing so, trigger a strange cataclysmic event. Its sci-fi imagery, moody tone, and ambiguous story feels very reminiscent of another PlayStation exclusive, Death Stranding. While details regarding Pragmata's story and gameplay are scarce at the moment, Capcom's assurance of a deeply profound experience has us eager to learn more. Thanks guys for watching our video. Clicking a like button is the best way you can help us to show your appreciation. We'd really be grateful for that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos. We'll see you guys next time.